Venezuela. What, bro? I'm not finna watch that bullshit. President Trump delivers a keynote addressing at the nope. Let's see what the fuck going on with this one. Trump warns Minnesota mayor he's playing with fire after immigrants enforce conversation. Everybody's playing fucking fire when they dealing with Trump retarded. And if y'all don't know, man, y'all gotta go read that book I told you about. Go watch my last episode and go read that book, bro. Like, let's see what this shit hitting on. Hopefully this shit acts right, cause my I don't know what the fuck going on with my internet, bro, but they acting like they got the dial system. But my kids will never understand what to have an iPhone. They goddamn connect the iPhone just to goddamn get on the internet type vibe shit. But they'll go crazy. There you go. I be trying to find good educational, not even education, just find shit that be going on the news. Cause a lot of time I ain't gonna lie, they been blocked, so they blocked some shit. They ain't blocked everything on goddamn Facebook. I mean on Instagram. So now we gonna have to really go deep in searching for shit. We gonna have to start reading. School choice tax credit is coming, and the governor decide who gets left. What? The Democrat governor blocked school choice. This is not right answer. But let me see what the fuck going on here. Oh shit, this shit old. Is this shit old? This shit old. I'm sorry, y'all. That's old. I'm not. Georgia arrest after stolen SUV flip on. What's up about that? What's this they talking about? Jesse Water Democrats are scared of their base. Huh, that makes a lot of sense. I don't trust none of this shit, bro. I don't trust the left. I don't trust liberals. I don't trust none of them niggas.
In the last 2 years, Minnesota has released 800 criminal aliens back onto the streets before ICE could pick them up. Now, if Minnesota can hold them for us and give us the lowdown on where they're holed up, ICE doesn't have to be doing dangerous manhunts and sweeping neighborhoods. Seems like a good deal, right? Well, the Minnesota mob wants these bad guys gone, right? They're just trying to protect the nonviolent grandmas and the dishwashers, comprende? No. The Minnesota militia storms the Capitol today.
Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice delayed is justice denied. And they could shoot and murder him. Any one of us could be the next name.
Walz is under siege for helping Trump target only the criminals. They always say we have to focus on the worst first. That's a lie. They want the worst to stay. The city council, they want ICE out.
We want the two 1,000+ agents that are still here today occupying our communities and putting them at harm's risk for being abducted or even shot and killed. We want them out. We don't want SWATCs. So until that demand is fulfilled, there is simply not a satisfying moment in this change.
Walz just admitted he's been harboring criminal aliens in his state. He cut a deal to hand them over, and the city council's blowing up the deal? Well, you can't call ICE the Gestapo and then start cooperating with the Gestapo, I guess.
He has likened his situation to Anne Frank in the Holocaust. He has said that ICE is your Gestapo army. And then you guys speak on the phone. I'm fascinated by that conversation.
It couldn't have been a nicer conversation. And in fact, I said to my people, I said, it's hard to believe that's the same guy I watch on television, or I watch in a debate not doing so well, or because we had a very reasonable conversation, very good conversation. If you believe the conversation, he'd like to get this thing over with.
Here's what's really going on. Walz is a lame duck. He's not running again. And the Justice Department is showering him with subpoenas over Somali fraud. And his staff was caught in a cover-up. So he's trying to throw Trump a bone with ICE. All right, we'll hand over the bad guys if you go easy on me with the fraud. I'll even give you Omar. Just take it easy on me. Now, Walz doesn't have any money for lawyers. He's broke. Once he's out of office, he might have to pay out of pocket to defend himself. Trump's also asking Minnesota for its voter rolls. That's touchy. Walz is under a lot of pressure to hand a lot of stuff over, or else he could be spending his retirement in court. But Bearded Pete doesn't want to see peace in the streets. Anyone running for president has to fight Trump till the bell rings.
Hi, it's Pete. And for the millions of Americans who have been making your voice heard, I want to recognize just how much impact that's had. Even just in the last few hours, we have seen some of the strongest proof yet that you are not powerless. All of this is showing that political pressure works.
Congressman Ro Khanna from California, who thinks he's running for president, flew to Minneapolis for a photo op. And when he met the mob, he almost wet himself.
These cameras. I'm not here for y'all. There's two ways you're gonna play this game, pimp. We were nice. This brother was a nurse. Now they're willing to kill our nurses. So when you go back to Capitol Hill, tell them I said it. If they bring their asses here, with us, it's gonna get worse.
Democrats running for president are so scared of their base, they're getting put on a leash, and they're not even house trained. The governor from Kentucky, also running for president, says ICE needs permission to visit his state, and they need a warrant every time they want to arrest an illegal.
Well, the first thing we have to do is demand that they pull these officers out of all of our cities and that they fully retrain every single one of them. The idea that they have a memo that says they can just barge into someone's house without a real warrant is I mean, I guess they missed the day they taught law in law school.
We have to get a warrant from a judge every time we arrest an illegal? Biden let 20 million illegals in. We need 20 million warrants? First of all, that's not the law. Second of all, you think these liberal judges are signing off on warrants for migrants? Judges are helping sneak illegals out of the courtroom before ICE can nab them. Obama deported 3 million migrants. He didn't have to get warrants. If you needed a warrant for every time you arrested a migrant, they could just stay inside their apartment all day and collect welfare. Democrats are saying they can raid the president's house, but not Jose's. Senator Van Hollen believes that illegals can move into Maryland, but ICE can't follow them there.
We need to make sure, in my view, that mayors and governors of states provide consent before ICE or Border Patrol come into their cities and states in these big numbers. ICE, the number of people in ICE now, it's bigger than the armies of many countries.
Democrats believe that illegals have. That's not how it go over 10 years back. Hillary said San Francisco had blood on its hands.
Any city should listen to the Department of Homeland Security, which, as I understand it, urged them to deport this man again after he got out of prison another time. You know, here's a case where we've deported. He ends back up in our country. And I think the city made a mistake. The city made a mistake not to deport someone that the federal government strongly felt should be deported.
How did we go from crooked to Crockett?
I know that slave patrols were some sort of military-like-ish policing force that was going out and grabbing and disappearing people based upon their skin color. People were having to walk around and show their papers. Yeah, that is what it looks like. That's what it looks like to me.
All right, y'all. I got one more video left in me. Let me see what else going on. Then I'm up out of here. What the hell Trump talking about now?
Kick off the new year in a new Subaru. You'll find yours at Subaru of Kennesaw on Barrett Parkway. Take home a new 2026 Subaru Forester and take advantage of 1.9% financing for 36 months. And we'll maintain the love with complimentary maintenance included. Shop us online for more great offers and kick off the new year in a new Subaru. Subaru of Kennesaw. Anywhere starts here on Barrett Parkway and online at SubaruofKennesaw.com.
Welcome back to the Will Cain Show, live from Iowa, and now we're here. We're here with President Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, great to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing this.
Well, you know, you do have great ratings.
Well, thank you.
We check the ratings, but even if you had lousy ratings, I would do your show. You are terrific. You've been a terrific guy.
I anticipate they should do very well today with this type of guest today here on the Will Cain Show. Welcome back to the campaign trail. Welcome back to Iowa. How does it feel?
Well, I love Iowa. We've won it 3 times conclusively. There wasn't like any late night voting or anything. We just won it right at the beginning. The doors closed and they said Trump won. And I love the people. You know, I just get along with the people.
I was watching the other room. You look back in your element. You're back with the people. What do you like better? Do you like this, standing on the stage at a rally, or do you like making a deal, maybe for Greenland?
I think I like maybe the rallies better. Deals are fun, but we're making a lot of good deals. We've made record-setting deals. We have $18 trillion coming into the country. That's why they're building auto plants, AI. They're building everything. With thousands of businesses are being built all over the country. And you're going to have a beautiful, very positive explosion sometime during the year when these things start opening up. But there's never been no country has done what we've done.
That explosion, that anticipated economic explosion, that's going to be important because you also need to do something that someone has done very rarely. You acknowledged this a couple of days ago with Maria Bartiromo, and that is for the president in power to win the midterms. I think it's been only twice since 1938 that the sitting president, the president in power, has won the midterms. Are you concerned?
Well, nobody can explain why. You know, even when we've had an amazing year, there's been a record-setting year in every way, and nobody can explain. Even presidents, whether it's Republican or Democrat, when they win, it doesn't make any difference. They seem to lose the midterm. So that's the only thing I worry about. I said, why? There's some psychological factor out there.
What do you think that is?
But I think it's like 2 in more than 50 years. Well, I don't know. Maybe they want to put up a guard fence. Maybe you just don't know. It doesn't make sense. Even if a president did well, they seem to lose the midterms. But hopefully we're going to change that around. We're doing great. We have the best polling numbers we've ever had. We have the best numbers in the country, lowest crime numbers in the history of our country. You know, Minnesota's in the news a lot, but what they don't say is that Minnesota has low numbers because of the fact that we took thousands of hardened criminals out of Minnesota. So they had good crime numbers, believe it or not. And that's all working out. You know, we have Tom Homan there now. We put him in there. He's great. And they met with the governor, the mayor, everybody else, and we're going to de-escalate a little bit. But I will tell you, you look at the numbers, they're doing better than they've done in many years because We took thousands of criminals out of Minnesota. You look at Washington, D.C., it was a very dangerous place a year and a half ago. Now it's as safe as you can get. You can walk your family down the middle of the street, nothing's going to happen. You know, we got rid of over 2,000 hardened criminals, many of them let in through the open border policy of Sleepy Joe Biden. That was not a good policy, Will.
I want to come back to Minnesota in just one moment, but let's go to those guardrails. I'd imagine you do not feel like you need guardrails in this moment. You talk about the investment.
No, I don't need guardrails. I don't want guardrails. Guardrails would hurt us because, you know, we're free enterprise people. The people in this room, the people of Iowa, are free enterprise. That's why we want it so big 3 times in a row.
I would have to imagine that guardrails would be an understatement of what would happen should you lose the House or the Senate. There's been talk of impeachment. You've been through this before. Yeah. You've been through it multiple times.
I'm a professional.
What will happen? What will happen if Democrats take the House?
They'll probably try and impeach me. They'll say he went to Iowa and he spoke unfairly to people and he's not supposed to do that. Let's impeach him, okay? Then the people in Iowa say, how did he get impeached? He just did an interview with Will, who has very good ratings, okay? But they just did an interview with Will. Now, they'll find something. There'll be something. I made the wrong turn at an exit, and let's impeach him. They did that before. They impeached me on a perfect phone call. Turned out they impeached me twice. And by the way, I won the impeachments very easily and quickly. But they impeach. They're very nasty people. You know, they have bad policy, really bad, but they do 2 things. They stick together, not stupid. Some are, because, you know, that's true with everything, right? But they stick together, but they have really bad policy. Men and women's sports, transgender for everybody. So many things are so bad. They're horrible to the farmers. And by the way, I just gave the farmers $12 billion because they were treated unfairly. We're taking in a fortune with tariffs. And I wrote them a little check about 2 weeks ago for $12 billion. Anybody in this room get any of it yet? Yes, yeah. A lot of people. It's a lot of money. And you know what? You deserved it. But we're taking in so much money from the tariffs that we can do that.
I want to talk about the point of view from some of these farmers, some of these people in this room a little bit later, but now I want to take you up on your invitation to talk about Minnesota. Listen, the entire country is talking about what happened this past weekend in Minnesota. You've already spoken about it. Everyone watching has seen the video. Everyone has an opinion. I'm curious what you thought when you first saw that video.
Well, I think the whole thing is terrible. I don't like the fact that he was carrying a gun that was fully loaded and he had 2 magazines with him, and it's pretty unusual. But nobody knows when they saw the gun, how they saw the gun, everything else. The bottom line, it was terrible. Both of them were terrible. The other was terrible, too. And I'm not sure about his parents, but I know her parents were big Trump fans. Makes me feel bad anyway. But, I mean, I guess you could say even worse. They were tremendous Trump people, Trump fans. And, you know, the daughter was, she was, I don't know if you could say radicalized, maybe not. I don't know. But I hate to see it. I hate to see that.
You bring up the term radicalized. What do you think is happening? You see these people in these videos, they feel very emboldened to step in and interfere with law enforcement. I'm not talking about protest, holding signs. I'm talking about people physically interfering with immigration enforcement. Why? Why do they feel so emboldened?
You have to go throughout the whole country. You know, we have done so much work throughout the whole country. We don't have any problem. The only one we have is Minnesota. We're in a lot of different places. New Orleans, we're in the governor of Louisiana called they have a big problem in New Orleans. And we went there. We've cut the crime by 67% in 4 weeks. It'll be down to practically nothing soon. Washington, D.C., we don't have problems. Like, you know, we've cut it down from a lot. It was very bad. It was terrible. People go to Washington to look at the Lincoln Monument and they end up getting whacked or whatever, killed. In some cases, numerous killings. That's a beautiful, safe place now. Memphis, Tennessee, one of the worst in the whole country, and now it's got very little crime.
But it's gone very differently in Minneapolis.
Well, it has. It's the only place.
And now the message is out that Tom Homan is in.
Yeah.
Commander Bovino is supposedly leaving Minneapolis along with some CBP agents. Is this a pullback?
I don't think it's a pullback. It's a little bit of a change. Everybody in this room that has a business, you know, you make little changes. You know, Bovino's very good, but he's a pretty out there kind of a guy. And in some cases, that's good. Maybe it wasn't good here. But you have to understand, when I watch some of the people that I've been watching over the last few weeks, these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid agitators. These people are normal, like OG, that, you know, they're incensed about anything. How do you get incensed when you go into a state and you're taking criminals out? You're taking monsters out, murderers. You know, we had 11,888 murderers let into our country by other countries, by Biden with his open border stupid policy. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You talk about bad policy. Open borders where people were coming, so the whole world, the Congo, Venezuela, all over the world, they're letting people in from their prisons and they're feeding them into the United States. And they're murderers and they're drug dealers and they're everything else you can think of, every bad name you can think of. And they let them in by the millions. We closed the border. You know, we have nobody coming into our country anymore. Literally.
It just shows how hard it is to clean up. Even after you close it, it shows the price that we paid under Joe Biden.
It's the hardest thing when you think of it. You know, inflation we've solved. It's done. We have it good. Where prices are coming way down. They were just saying in Iowa, the fuel is $1.95. Did you hear that? Somebody said $1.85, but it was $3.50, $4.50 just a year ago, a year and a half ago. You look at eggs, you look at groceries, it's all down. Everything's come down. Do you notice they don't mention affordability anymore? That's like an old-fashioned word. They brought up affordability, but they were the ones that caused it. I didn't cause it. I came in, prices were way too high. We had the highest inflation in the history of our country. 48 years, they say, I say the history. But we had the highest, let's say in 48 years, the highest inflation. Prices were way high. Now I've got the prices down, and they're going down still further. But think of it, we brought fuel from $4, $3.50, $3.75 down to $1.99, $1.08. I was just told in Iowa, $1.85.
Yeah,
a gallon.
No doubt. But that.
All right, y'all. So I'm done for the day. I ain't finna stay on this bitch and listen to goddamn Trump all damn day. All right, y'all. This is my episode 102, y'all. Hey, man. Appreciate everybody who been rocking with me this long, man. Every day is a stepping stone. I think today is better than yesterday, man. If anybody going through some life-changing situation, bro, I know everybody I talk to is literally going through something. So it's like, it's kind of hard for me, like I said, to get on here and be, you know, ungrateful to what I have right now, even though I'm not satisfied with what I have. I'm trying to figure out a few things, trying to figure out my own life, trying to figure out my next move. I know it's kind of like, for a lot of people, it's discouraging out here, bro. And a lot of people out here are going through a lot. Some people might not know where their next meal is at. Some people might not be able to afford to pay their rent. And it's cool for me to say a lot of positive shit. I could tell you to pray on it. Everybody have their own beliefs. But somehow, some way, man, we just got to keep fighting. And I know it sounds all good and dandy. Sometimes it feel like bullshit. So I'm relatable to that. I understand it. And a lot of times I get on, bro, I discourage my damn self, bro. Just all feeling like I should be somewhere better off or somewhere that I should be way further along. I've been doing this shit for a while. I think this might be the first time I've been consistent with it in a while, like ever. So maybe I'm just on my own path. We all on our own journey. We all on our own path. We can't really compare ourselves to nobody. And that's really where the brand come from. Same goals, different struggles, bro. Like, a lot of us have the same goals, but we going through a lot of different struggles out here. And everybody ain't going through the same type of struggle. Some of us is worse than others. Some of us are not. But I just say, man, especially if you got kids, man, just try to stay positive. Try to teach them right from wrong. And keep pushing, man, because you never know what tomorrow might bring. Yo, tomorrow's a different day for us, man. This is episode 102 of Same Goals, Different Struggle podcast, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Rest in peace to my brother Q. I'm out, y'all. Shit.